As y'all boys can see, what does that say? Breach detected. Not just on one account. 20 blown accounts. You know what I'm saying? 20 blown accounts I've been through. Gotten payouts. Just it's just wasn't a good day, right? Not even just not a good day, right? Because losing account doesn't mean it was a bad day. Like it was just not a good trading day wise, right? Amazing day. Thank God for this day. But I blew these accounts, and once I blew them, I really wanted to sit down and talk to y'all about blowing accounts and the psychology and how we're gonna go. Of course, we're gonna go over the trades that we like, the trade that I blew the accounts on. Of course, I'm gonna talk about what I'm gonna do next time. You feel me? I'm gonna buy some more accounts, duh. But how, my trading plan and my trading regimen. But blowing accounts is simple, man. It's a hard thing, but it's simple as well. People don't understand keeping the account is very simple, but blowing it is even easier, right? Like you can get the big head. And one of the main problems I see and I still deal with to this day is rushing. Not even just my trading accounts, right? Not even just trading overall, like in life. I rush a lot of things. Rush trying to be rich, rush relationships, rush whatever it may be, because I feel like I need to have an answer or a result right then, right? And people don't realize like that is what is killing it. I didn't realize that until now. Like I realized, especially with these trades, I'm gonna go over them. Which the trades that I took today weren't that bad, but it's just like I could have waited, right? And that'd be the main thing. Everything does not have to happen right then. You don't need to see an answer right then. Most of the time, you're going to get your answer. And if this is relationships, if this is just dealing with anything, if you just wait, be patient, and observe, most of the time you will get your answer later on. When you're trying to force your answer or you're trying to do, you're going to mess up. It's that simple. When you're trying to force anything, especially if you cannot control the outcome, right? So if you're trying to, let's say you trading, you're trying to force a trade, you cannot control what the market does. So you forcing something would not affect the market, how the market moves. So you putting in a trade, going in for sales, the market is not going to be like, oh, Sham is in for sales now. Let me start taking sales. Like, no, the market does not do that. It doesn't think like that, right? It's the same thing with everything. Relationships. I've been in relationships and I've rushed things. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's keep it a buck. I want y'all to understand there is a difference. I see that you're ambitious. Don't act like rushing and stuff. That just tells me you really want something to succeed, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Don't ever think what you think and how you feel is wrong. That's you, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But you can go about things differently. That's the difference. You can have emotions, you can have feelings, but all the time acting on those feelings all the time is not correct. You know what I'm saying? So you blowing that count, that's just a result of you not being patient and you not waiting, or you not being uh having good risk management. You not practicing being a good trader. You get what I'm saying? Relationship wise. You get what I'm saying? If you were rushing the relationship, or you're in a relationship and you're rushing it, yeah, I know you really like that person. You really are whatever. You get what I'm saying? If they showing you they don't mess with you, gang, leave them alone. No cap. Leave them alone. They don't want to talk to you. Dip them off, bro. It's not, you can't control the outcome. That's one thing I had to realize. You cannot control the outcome of anything. If you, or you yourself, right? The only thing that you can control is your actions, right? That's the only outcome you can control. And you can't even control that outcome of the actions that you put in. You get what I'm saying? Like, niggas play basketball from elementary all the way to freaking college, my nigga, and they are cursed with the genetics. I'm not gonna say cursed because nobody is cursed with what they're born with, but they parents were, they dad was 5'5", they mom was 5'3", so that nigga turned up to be 5'8". He can't hoop. He hit his max potential. He can't go to the league. He probably can if he try. People scouted him, but it's just really hard to get into the league when you like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't control the outcome, but if you put in enough effort and put in enough work, he can be something great somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way with trading. You might not win that day. You know what I'm saying? You might not win that week. You might not see growth that month. But if you stay consistent with it and not rush it and just be the person that you are meant to be the trader that constantly wins. That's one thing I changed. I used to think that once I get a payout, or once I start getting money from it, or once I did this, that is when I'll become a profitable trader. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even just with trading, it's the other things in life. Once I got a girl, I do this. Once I got the car I wanted, I feel this. No, I was attached to the outcome. Once I got these things, right? And then I kept moving the goalposts. Now, oh, I got the girl that I wanted. Now, once I'm able to buy her things, or once I'm able, no. Oh, I got the car that I wanted. Now, once I'm able to travel this, or once I able to get a better car. No. Why do you keep moving the goalposts? You get your account and you like, okay, I need to pass this account. That's one thing you gotta focus on. Passing the account. You can't even make money yet because you haven't passed the account. Then you get the account, you instantly start thinking of, oh, I need to get a payout. Cause I like you don't even think, okay, this, you don't sit down and think of a plan like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I wanna trade consistently like this for the entire week. Once I get, you don't do that. Right? To be honest, you don't do that. Just look at you. You don't do that. You sit there and you rush. And that's why a lot of people lose, especially in trading. A lot of people lose because they rush and they chase an outcome, right? Those two things will kill you, not just in trading, but in life in general. When you are forcing an outcome that you cannot control, when you're trying to force something that you cannot control, you're going to end up hurt every single time because you can't control it. But once you become the person that actually has those things, the person that is able to wake up and take a trade, he could take a L and get off, or he could take a W, get off every single day. He's the same person on the charts. That's when you become a better trader. It's that simple. You're not competing with nobody. You're not trying to get 1,000 payouts in a year. You feel me? You don't even need that many to live lavishly, gang. You gotta understand, most of the people that's coming into trading are working regular 9 to 5 jobs, making $20,000 to $40,000 a year. Within a month, if you stay consistent, you can make get a $20,000 to $40,000 payout. What you just made at your 9 to 5 job, you just made within a month on clicking a buy or sell button. But you cannot get past that barrier because you're rushing the process. You think it has to be quick. You think you have to trade every day. You think this, you think that, you think wrong. You're thinking too much. You know what I'm saying? What that nigga Lucky said? He said you think too much, so that's why you broke, my nigga. Or you say you think so much, that's why you're not rich. He said something like that. Shout out Lucky. It's a mind thing, and that's what I realized. Like, it's a mind thing. Most of the stuff especially my students and people that trade, watch me trade or whatever. A lot of y'all boys know how to trade. You're just lacking the discipline and the, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, the discipline. You lacking the discipline to actually become a better trader. You're so glued to the outcome that you think in order for you to feel better, you have to get a payout. But once I start realizing, like, it's just with anything in life, accepting what I have, right? I take a L, cool. I take a W, great. I take a L, cool. I take a W, wonderful. You know what I'm saying? I lose somebody, cool. They come back, amazing. It's always going to be two sides of a story. You know what I'm saying? But you got to learn, you're going to have to learn to accept both sides. Whatever outcome comes out, you're going to have to be okay with it. Because if you're just so glued to one outcome when there's always going to be another, you're not going to be fulfilled, right? You're going to always be searching and seeking, doing all these things, wanting things, and that's how you hurt yourself. Especially if you're ambitious. Like, I'm very ambitious. Like, I don't want to do nothing but win. That's it. But I get so caught up in my head and I think so much, and I just mess up the entire plan. And that's what I know. I know a lot of people that's ambitious. That's what we deal with. We're thinkers. We think so much that we slow ourselves down. Why? But yeah. With that being said, man, we finna go ahead and go in. I'm gonna show y'all the trade that we ended up missing, but it hit right afterwards. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up for y'all boys. You feel me? Oh snap! If it can. Oh snap! I just deleted my camera. All right, we just switched cameras, I guess, my nigga. No, that is not my camera. Okay. All right, bet. Perfect. There we go. All right. Let's reset this. Refresh so we can see the trade that we got. Boom. Now let me break this trade right here down for y'all boys, cause it seemed like I did take a W, which it was in my opinion. Let me just talk about where I went wrong. First, trade I took sales, right? Why did I take sales? Sweep of liquidity at these highs. Highs got taken. What's it called? This high got taken. Sweep of liquidity. Then we start breaking through these lows down here, right? Start breaking through these lows. My first trade, I ended up taking as soon as we broke these lows, which was wrong. You know what I'm saying? I actually took down here, right here, and as you can, yeah, it was actually exactly right there. And as you can see, I got stopped out by the freaking point, my nigga. I got stopped out by the point. Now at this time, I only had like $400 because I took an L yesterday or earlier today. It was yesterday, something like that. I think it was early today, one of those. So once I took this first L and I got no, it wasn't this. It was right here. It was this candle. I got stopped out to the tick right here on this. So we started dropping, then we came back up, and then we dropped again. Let me explain to y'all why this trade right here was wrong, right? First, we got the sweep. Power 3, accumulation, had our manipulation above these highs and our distribution down to the downside. That's what I was expecting, right? We got the breaker structure right here. Let's go ahead and change that to the breaker structure. We had our breaker structure right there and we broke down. What people don't realize, and a lot of y'all don't realize, or because y'all can look at this and be like, dang, this seems like a good trade, which it was. It made sense. But the market, if the market wants to go down, you have to wait for it to actually present itself, right? So right here, let's delete this. We started pushing down. You don't never want to get in as soon as we break that structure, right? Typically, you want to wait for a pullback, and then that's to break the structure again. So my entry should have been at the break of these lows right here, right? This is where my entry should have been because this tells me, okay, we're displacing down to the downside. This gives me a more structure. We're creating lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? That is presenting out a clearer market structure. When you just get in off of the first breaker structure, a lot of things can happen. This could have easily been a sweep of liquidity coming down just to fill this little small gap over here that some of y'all probably didn't even see. It could have been easily just come over, fill this little gap, and push it back up to the upside. It could have been a lot of things right here off of the first initial break. You never make the first move, and that is what I did. It was a beginner's mistake. And so once I did catch another good trade, so if we delete this stuff, my next trade was right here. My next trade was right here once we got the pullback and we started back pushing back down. Since I didn't have enough money in my account, the trade was invalid, right? I ended up, it ended up coming up here, and the money that I did have left, it ended up stopping me out and running to my TP. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably missed this mistake that I did. Once I took this L, I should have sized down. That's the main thing I should have did. Once I took the L, instead of rushing it, because in my head I was like, I can make my profit back with one trade. That'd be my main thing. I'd be like, I can make it back with one trade, right? And once you're trading Nasdaq and like one micro or on futures, you know what I'm saying, and 50K accounts, if you trade like me, mine is 25 points, so there's $500 and a 50-point stop, so there's $1,000. I'm risking $500 to make $1,000 per trade, 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. So once you trade like that, one L can put your account. That means you only have 4 trades, right? You only have 4 trades with the account, and it's really hard to do those things, right? To catch really good trades, 4 trades in a row. I mean, not to lose 4 trades in a row, right? So yeah, I can lower my stop loss. I can do those things, but no, the main thing I should do is just lower my risk. Trade 6 to 7 micros. I didn't mean to do that. 6, 7 micros, and then build the account, and then go from there, right? Or just take really good, only trade during continuation models and stuff like that. Never trade this choppy session that we're having right now. Even though we have clean movements like this, the market isn't really, it's not really clean, right? We having nice displacement, but we're not really having good price action. As you can see, once we move a little bit, we start instantly getting back into chop. So yeah, it's a lot of things that I could have changed that I already know. You know what I'm saying? I already know those things, but I get in the mood of rushing and trying to force an outcome on the charts that I forget all of the stuff. No, when you get on the charts, you need to remain the same. Think of the things that you've been telling yourself. Is this a good trade? Should I trade right now or should I wait? Every day is not a trading day. I didn't have to trade, right? I didn't have to. Now, luckily, I got money to buy more accounts, and I will be buying more accounts, or I might just be trading my live account and it'll pay for itself. We'll see where the Lord takes us. But like I told you, man, if I didn't force these outcomes, I didn't force this trade, I didn't force myself or whatever, if I didn't do any of that, I would still be alive. If I managed my risk like I should have, right, instead of trying to rush and make some money, make the money fast, if I would manage my risk, size down, I would still have my account. I actually would have been up 500. So that 500 I lost at first, I would have made it right back in the next trade. Then I could have traded again because I would have had $1,000 in the account. It's that simple. If I would have just been patient and didn't try to force an outcome, it's that simple. Yeah. So I failed 20 accounts, so y'all boys don't have to. I hope this video helps, man. God loves y'all boys. Catch y'all another video. Peace out.